What is going on, YouTube people? Today, we have another hobby lawsuit brought to us by one and only Paul Lesko. Shout out to Paul Lesko for doing wonderful work on the legal streets of cards, collectibles, hell, even comic books on occasion. Once again, I think I mentioned this before. I had the pleasure of meeting Paul Lesko finally at the National this past year. Absolutely fantastic person, both online and in person. But today he brings us a new one, and something slightly different. Involves Marvel cards. That's right, $750,000 worth of Marvel cards. These were allegedly stolen, and someone brought a lawsuit against the person that stole them, trying to get either the cards or the money back. And part of the interesting dynamics of this is a lot of these upper decks involved as well. They didn't do anything wrong, but a lot of these were tied up slash transacted slash moved off of epak, which is upper decks. I'm going to call it a digital platform, but it is not completely digital. I'll give a quick synopsis here. Essentially, what happens is when Upper Deck puts out a product, they release most of it in physical. They hold some back for what they call epak. The SKUs are the same as what comes to your local hobby store. You could go on there, buy a pack, buy a hobby box, open it up, and then in most cases, the base cards are digital. Not always. Higher end sets, they are physical. Hits, inserts, etc. are physical. So those are cards that you can have shipped home to you. There is also achievements, which you can combine cards together. So if you get 10 base cards of Spider-Man, you can combine those together for a special parallel of Spider-Man, and that is usually a physical card as well. It can get a lot more complex than that. It just kind of depends on each individual set. So once they're on the epak, you could trade them back and forth. A lot of people will sell them and you could transfer them to someone else's account, or you could ship them home, or you can move them to your ComC account and then do what you want with them from there. You could sell them on ComC, send them to eBay, grade them, ship them home, whatever you want to do. You could do that through ComC. So what happened here was this Pivot Collectibles, which seems to be a person slash group of people slash dealer that works with a lot of high-end collectibles. In this case, Marvel cards were involved. Had almost $1 million worth of cards swiped from them. The person was an ex-employee that had access to the epak account, and it sounds like basically sold the cards off over the course of a short period of time to the total of $750,000. Now, where this gets interesting is, and I don't know, and I asked Paul in a tweet, and he wasn't 100% sure either, because it would kind of depend on how this would go. There are a number of John slash Jane Does named in this, which are essentially the people who the cards ended up in their hands. So if you have cards on this list and you were one of the people that obtained them, you could potentially be involved in this from you purchased stolen goods, which means you, I guess, potentially might have to give the card up at some point in time, depending on the way this goes. Part of this suit is for Upper Deck, that's why they're involved, to basically lock these cards in place. So if they are sitting on someone's epak account, they need to be locked down until this essentially finishes up. Now, there is some verbiage in here basically discussing that a lot of these have been already converted to physical, or basically shipped home, essentially. So a lot of these might already be in the wind, and I don't know what would happen in that case. The list is very, very long. Paul posted, this is the full court document here. The list of cards is almost 40 some deep. Now, there are some big boys on here. And by the way, they actually show this is the recipient of the card. So this is probably the epak username of who they were traded to. A lot of it went to, it looks like a couple different people. This 808 Sports Cards and Marvel Foo are two of the big accounts that acquired a lot of these. Now, There's some black diamond in here, but a large portion of these are Spider-Man metal. And what you notice here is green PMG. There are a lot, and I mean a lot, of green PMGs on this list. And green PMGs are numbered out of 10, and green PMGs sell for very large sums of money. So this could add up very quickly. Like I said, this is a pretty long list, but in terms of the cash value wise, a lot of it is coming from these green PMGs. There's some other low numbered stuff in here. I saw some pink FXs. Those are numbered to 75. They're turquoise, I believe, are to 50. Gold parallels. Some of these are achievement cards that had to be redeemed, like these neon blues, I believe were achievements from Spider-Man Metal, but I'm still scrolling here. You can see how absolutely massive this list is. These are grandioses. These were parallels, not expensive cards. Once again, a lot of these went to that 808 sports cards, a large chunk of these. And then once again, Marvel Fu also has a bunch of these as well. Bunch of base cards in here. Once again, not very expensive there. But really, it's the green PMGs that build up a bulk of this. Now, one of the interesting things is, as M&T Trading pointed out on Twitter, when Spider-Man Metal launched on epak, it went very quickly. And it seems like this pivot collectibles may have been buying a astronomical ton of it, which would explain, one, why it went so fast, and two, why they have so much of it in their epak account. That they must have went on an absolute spending spree. Whether, like I said, I don't know what the end goal was here. Were they trying to corner the market on Spider-Man Metal on epak, and then, have a position of strength, and people that really wanted the cards would have to pay up for them? Or were they just a super collector? That I do not know. I do not know the people involved behind this company, but they spent a ton on Spider-Man Metal. That much is clear. And this person, Rosenbluth, allegedly stole a bunch of those cards and sold them off. So scary times all around there. I don't know. I'd be curious, any lawyers in the comments below that want to fire away hot takes on what would potentially happen to, if this Marvel Fu guy spent a large sum of money acquiring all these cards, what would happen there? Would they have to give the cards back potentially? Would they be out the cards and the money that they paid for them? Would they have to go after, this Rosenbluth to get the money back if the cards got surrendered? I don't know how all that works. I am not a legal expert. I collect pictures of men in encased pieces of plastic, and occasionally comic books also encased in plastic, and then I send them off to a company to put a third-party grade on it that then we all put a fake value on to inflate it or lower it depending on the number in the top left-hand corner. I don't know much about the legal side of things. I am not a lawyer. I did not stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night, so I don't know what the ramifications of this all are, but I am sure that there are probably some, depending on, and a lot of this will depend on, obviously, how this goes, because this is allegedly. Crazy times out there, though. If you have some sort of electronic account that has very expensive collectibles on it, maybe keep an eye on that every once in a while. There was sell dates on there, or when they got transferred. It looks like most of this happened. So here we have December 2023. It looks like these are in date order. And it looks like most of this goes through, once again, this list is huge, early March 2024. Yeah, it looks like early March 2024. A lot of these are just base cards. These are 5-10 cent cards on some of these. But those green PMGs, very expensive. And I looked at this list a little closer, and there are, like a multiple Spider-Man green PMGs are on this list. And that alone would add up very, very quickly. So that's all I got for you boys and girls today. If you got, like I said, if you got an epak account or anything like that, and you're sharing the password with somebody, maybe keep an eye on that. But crazy times as always. See, all the drama and craziness is not just exclusive to sports cards. It creeps in the comic books. Now it's creeping. Not even Marvel cards are safe anymore. My goodness, people. Everybody just calm down. That is all I got for you boys and girls today. We have a Marvel box opening coming up on Friday. Marvel Beginnings Volume 2 Series 2. So speaking of Marvel cards, we'll take a look at that on Friday. And then the content schedule goes into the blender because I will be at Fanatics Fest and God knows what will be coming out of that. Content-wise, I will try to post videos whenever I can. I am sure the upload schedule will be all thrown out of whack. No weekly sports card market update on Sunday. We'll see if we do one early next week, but that'll probably all be consumed by Fanatics Fest content. So if you're going to New York, hope to see you this weekend. If not, tune into the content. I will try to bring the show as best to you as I possibly can. Catch you boys and girls on the next one. Peace.